Shalom everyone. Adonai oz le'amo yiten, and through that strength, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Parashat B'shalach, Tafshin Pei Daled. Parashat B'shalach clearly divides into two parts. In the first part of the parasha, there's pressure. The Mitzrim are behind them. The sea is in front of them. Pressure. And then the great miracle of Kriyat Yamsuf, they're saved, and the great Shirat Hayam bursts out from Moshe and Bnei Israel, Miriam and the women. This is uplifting. In this part of the parasha, there are 58 psukim. In the second part of the parasha, there's no water. They're in the desert. There's no water. They complain. Then there's water, but the water is bitter. Hashem shows Moshe a tree. He throws it into the water, and it becomes sweet. And then Hashem gives them chok umishpat, whether that means the first halachot that Bnei Israel get, or instructions how to handle a society, a nation in the desert. In any case, these are small daily details. And about this, the Torah says, V'sham nisahu. This is a nisayon, a trial for Bnei Israel. Bnei Israel complain. And then there is a daily drizzle of man for Bnei Israel, which they have to take in exact amounts. And again, the Torah says, Leman anasenu. And then there are the first prohibitions of Ilchot Shabbat. Not allowed to cook on Shabbat. They can't continue on the journey. They stay in place. And again, there's no water. And again, Bnei Israel complain. Is Hashem with us or not? And then there's a war. And this second part of the parasha contains, you know how many? 58 psukim. After Bnei Israel crossed Yam Suf, and left the dead Mitzrim behind them, where do they stand now? At the edge of a desert, which they have to walk through, in order to come to Eretz Yisrael, a dry desert. What a trial is awaiting them. In the first part of the parasha, it's uplifting. The second part of the parasha, they come down from that uplifting experience. It's a trial. They're complaining. In the first part of the parasha, a nes. In the second part of the parasha, a nisayon. But that is not the only way to look at the connection between the two parts of the parasha, or to look at the second part of the parasha. Here's another option. What's greater? A one-time tremendous miracle that saves lives, or a daily drizzle of a miracle, a small miracle, day after day, for 40 years? I'm talking about the man. A tremendous miracle that appears in a small drizzle, but it's continuous, it's consistent. You get used to it, but it gives life. Great uplifting and then coming down, or is it a great uplifting experience that cannot be consistent and continuing? And after that comes a daily experience of small lifting, small uplifting, small spiritual growth, getting higher spiritually every day. That can be consistent in a person's life and in the life of Am Yisrael. Maybe the nisayon in the second part of the parasha is to see the nes in this daily experience of growing spiritually, in every tefillah and kesher with Hashem, in every small chesed, in every bracha, in every small expression, which is a great expression of faith, of bitachon, of emunah, of commitment. Notice, when we read the parasha on Shabbat, the fourth aliyah contains the end of Kriyat Yamsuf and Shirat Hayam, but it doesn't end there. It goes on into going out to the desert, no water, bitter water, chok umishpat, the trial, the nisayon for Bnei Israel. What is the Torah reading for Shvi'i Shel Pesach? We read all about the pressure and the uplifting experience, the great miracle of Kriyat Yamsuf, and again we add those psukim about going out to the desert. Of course, there are uplifting times in our lives, but after every uplifting experience, what's waiting at the end of this experience is life itself. Of course, I'm excited about Kriyat Yamsuf. I love uplifting experiences. Of course, Am Yisrael needs these experiences, and they're very, very valuable. And it gives an individual person, great strength, and it gives Am Yisrael great strength. But in the life of every one of us, and in the life of all of Am Yisrael, at the end of the day, the trial, the nisayon of life, is to see the greatness in the daily experiences. The nisayon is to see the greatness in the nes that happens every moment in every action, in times that are routine and in times of war. To be able to succeed in this nisayon, that is greatness.